Apple just launched the brand new iPhone 17, and instead of skyrocketing, the company stock plunged by 3.2% overnight. Now, that might sound small, but remember, Apple is worth $3.4 trillion. This means the company lost over $111 billion in just hours. So the question is, has Apple, once the king of innovation, finally reached its breaking point? Or is this just another bump in the road? Today, we'll uncover the hidden truth behind Apple's decline and why some experts say this could be the beginning of the end. But before we dive deeper into Apple's secret struggles and the future of the iPhone, if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. On this channel, we turn global events and tech stories into knowledge you can't ignore. Alright, let's begin. Apple is the world's most valuable brand, yet it just lost billions in hours. To put it in perspective, this kind of drop is like an empire losing a fortress overnight. Investors are shaken, some even calling it the start of a slow-motion collapse. And at the core of this storm lies one word: greed. Apple is no longer driven by innovation, but by maximizing profits at all costs. Think back to the late 2000s. Apple shocked the world with the first iPhone. No buttons, a full touchscreen that changed technology forever. Steve Jobs believed in a philosophy: don't just give people what they want, show them what they never imagined. Under Jobs, Apple gave us the iPhone, the iPad, the AirPods. Each one was mocked at first, but each went on to redefine entire industries. Jobs was a painter, creating masterpieces. Today, under Tim Cook, Apple feels less like an art studio and more like a bank. Since Jobs' death in 2011, the company shifted from visionary innovation to safe profits. Meanwhile, rivals are racing ahead. Samsung, Xiaomi, Huawei, they're pushing foldables, artificial intelligence, experimental designs. Apple, the same iTone for nearly 7 years. Slightly thinner, a new color, maybe a camera moved an inch. Features that Samsung offered a decade ago are being sold by Apple today as breakthroughs. Apple's legendary slogan, "Think Different," almost feels replaced by a new one: "Don't think." And yet, people still buy iPhones. Why? Not because of innovation, but because of the ecosystem. Once you own a MacBook, AirPods, and Apple Watch, it's hard to escape. The iPhone becomes the glue that holds your digital life together. For others, it's a status symbol. Some even take loans just to own one. But globally, the cracks are showing. In the US, Apple's market share has slipped to 56%. In South America, the Middle East, and Asia, millions are leaving iPhones behind for cheaper and more advanced rivals. And then comes Apple's biggest weakness today: artificial intelligence. Siri, once a futuristic voice assistant, now struggles with basic tasks. Apple promised Apple Intelligence in 2024, but the full rollout won't happen until 2026. Meanwhile, competitors like Google, Microsoft, and OpenAI are sprinting ahead. In the AI race, Apple looks like a marathon runner who showed up 2 hours late. And the worst part? AI isn't something you can simply buy later and bolt on. It needs users, data, and constant learning. Google's Gemini, for example, is free and being used by millions every day. Apple is limiting its AI to only a few devices. That's not just slow, it's dangerous. Without real AI, the iPhone risks becoming nothing more than a pretty shell. History warns us about what happens next. Nokia, HTC, BlackBerry, all giants, all gone. Their mistake was the same: ignoring innovation. Even Apple itself faced near death once. In 1997, the company was just 90 days away from bankruptcy. Its computers were boring, uninspired machines nobody wanted. Then Steve Jobs returned and saved the company with bold, risky moves. The iPhone, the iPad, the AirPods, products that no one asked for, but that everyone ended up needing. By 2011, whatever Apple launched, the rest of the world followed. But Jobs passed away that year, and leadership shifted to Tim Cook, a man from the supply chain, not product design. Cook expanded Apple's global supply network, but shifted the company's focus from innovation to profit. Apple began charging developers 30% on every App Store sale. It promised advanced intelligence features that still don't work properly. Meanwhile, companies like Microsoft, Nvidia, and OpenAI embraced AI and rose to the very top, without even making smartphones. Apple, once the leader, is stuck making thinner phones with new wallpapers. Even competitors are laughing at Apple now. Google recently joked, "If you think nothing has changed in your phone, maybe it's time to change your phone."
If it feels like your phone hasn't changed in years, maybe it's time to change your phone.
The market now has triple-fold phones, while Apple's big idea is changing camera placement. This defensive approach, letting others take risks and copying later, worked in hardware. But in AI, it's fatal, because AI thrives on scale and data. Without millions of users feeding it, it won't evolve. And right now, Apple is choosing its profits over progress. Today, Apple runs not on innovation, but on its brand legacy. It's like milking a cow that once gave the richest milk, but is now being drained dry. That cow is the iPhone. And history has one rule: those who fail to evolve get left behind. Unless Apple finds another visionary leader, it risks the same fate as Nokia, a giant that became irrelevant. The stock market already shows the signs. Investors are pulling back. Customers don't feel the need to upgrade. Moving a camera from left to right won't save this company anymore. Apple's identity has shifted from being a creator to being a collector, from dreaming about the future to squeezing the present for every last dollar. So the question is, what happens next? Will Apple's brand name be enough to carry it for another decade? Or will greed and stagnation finally topple one of the most powerful companies in history? If Apple doesn't reinvent itself with real AI, groundbreaking hardware, and visionary leadership, it risks collapse within the next 10 years. So what do you think? Is Apple already on the edge of collapse, or could it stage another legendary comeback, just like it did under Steve Jobs? Share your thoughts in the comments below. I'd love to hear your take. And if you enjoyed this deep dive, make sure to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more stories where we turn news into knowledge. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.